What up, good peoples? Mr. Anomaly coming at you again. Another day with Mr. A. I wanted to do a reaction. This is from the channel Think Mate. I'm liking these voiced AI videos with the philosophers and just going on these little talks like that. Yeah, they be coming on my feed. I be listening to them sometimes. I think this is one I just listened to for a few minutes. And this one's Why Waking Up Tired is a Warning Sign by Nietzsche and Jung. And we already established, we live in a society that bent the knee to the Jezebel. We live in a society where it's really designed to steal the man's sovereignty. They don't want you to step into your God-given sovereignty as a man. And as we do that, myself included, we get drained in so many various ways. And one thing I always mention on this channel is, I'm 45 years old, I got the grades and stuff, but I don't look like the average 45-year-old man. Typically, especially when he's married and got kids and been drained by a harpy and been, went through divorce court and all that crap. So, there's the weight of life. There's a tiredness. I mentioned that a lot. I said there's a tiredness in their eyes. There no amount of sleep can cure, because this is spiritual. This is spiritual, man. And like I said again, when we lie to ourselves, like Machiavelli and all them saying, Mr. A saying, when we lie to ourselves, it drains us, and some more than others. Me personally, like I said, I'm about as free as you can probably be, but I'm still got more growing to do too. I'm still unpacking, digging deep, and I'm just realizing, ask myself the tough questions, things I didn't want to admit to myself, and yeah, what you attract. But here we go.
Bed at 11 p.m. You woke up at 7. No late night scrolling. No alcohol. You followed every rule the wellness gurus posted online. You gave your body rest. And yet you wake up with a weight on your chest, as if life itself has become a burden. Okay. Not because your body is tired, but because something inside you has been quietly suffocating. You lie there staring at the ceiling, wondering why 8 hours of sleep still feel like drowning.
Something inside you's been suffocating. When we're lying to ourselves, we don't admit certain things. It affects us, man. It affects us, bro. I'm starting to realize that, some form of fashion, man. It affects us, man. Not living up to our full potential. I don't know, man. That's just the freaks I'm on now, man. Like I said, I don't know if I'm just getting older or what, man. But it's just, it's all internal, man.
This isn't about sleep deprivation. It's about spiritual depletion, the kind of exhaustion that seeps into your bones. Not because you've done too much, but because you've done too little of what actually matters to you. Your dreams didn't recharge you. They drained you, replaying the same silent war between who you are and who you pretend to be. What you're experiencing is not rest, it's pause. A temporary disconnection from a system that demands your obedience. A brief intermission before you're pulled back into the performance.
This stuff is deep, y'all. This stuff is deep, and that's what this system is designed for. This Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and you can say that it's how society's been functioning. But how's that working now? Universal basic income is coming. AI. Again, guys, I got to keep harping on it because it's just incredible how we're just really coming into this phase now, man. We're literally stepping into a new era, and people are just like, I haven't uploaded yet, but yeah, how I just saw how they were training their replacements at the place I was at, man. Putting on performances, lying to yourself. I got to do another one, man. This stuff is deep, man. And again, people don't want to face this. Man's problem is his inability to sit quietly in his room with his own thoughts. Y'all hear that quote? It's true. Stuff people want to ignore, and it costs you. The death of 1,000 cuts, man. Let's keep going.
This is the trap. You wake up not rested but rehearsed, ready to smile on command, ready to function, ready to perform, but never ready to live. And here's the brutal truth. Modern life has hijacked the meaning of rest. You're not sleeping. You're recovering just enough to endure another day of disconnection. Just enough to wear the mask again without it slipping. Because somewhere along the line, the goal stopped being restoration and became survival. You don't wake up energized. You wake up armored. According to Gallup's 2023 State of the Global Workplace, 76% of American adults report experiencing mental exhaustion at least once a week. Let that sink in.
76%. This is all true. You can't refute it, man. Yeah. Draining you, and there's a reason for it, man. We live in a society that's taking away our sovereignty from the Most High, from nature. We're all focusing on Lilith's mirror, the black mirror, all this crap that ain't even real. It's a freaking illusion, and it's draining you. What profits a man? I'm starting to really understand this. What profits a man who gains the world but loses the soul? He's lying to himself, man. Tiredness, sleep can't cure. 76%, man. And this is not an accident, man. And that's why I keep telling you, man, it's not an accident that most men think they're nothing without a woman, because again, all it's doing is going to make you a slave to the system. Tell me I'm wrong in the comment section. You got to be a simulation to partake with the simulation. It's not too many men that has a household that they are running. That is a small percentage, man. I'm going to keep mentioning that because, yeah, it's true. 76%, man. And that's what it's designed for. Wow, that is crazy.
Over 3 out of 4 people walk around with invisible weight pressing down on their spirit, their thoughts, their will. This isn't an individual problem. This is a collective crisis. And yet most of us blame ourselves. We say, I must not be disciplined enough. I should try journaling. Maybe I just need more magnesium. But Harvard Medical School already told us the truth. Chronic fatigue often doesn't come from the body. It comes from values in conflict, from living a life that contradicts your core, from showing up every day in ways that betray who you truly are.
I don't expect most to get, because again, like one of myself say, that's pretty good. You got 10% godly, put it out there. You got 10% on the opposite side, the satanic side, and then you got the 80% masses who just. This stuff is real and it's deliberate. It is deliberate, and this is not an accident that a lot of people be going through this, man. Remember, I was talking to one of my coworkers because I'm free of all this, man. I'm about as free as you can be, man. I had one of my coworkers. He was laughing because we were just idle. I just started just laughing. He said, "What are you laughing at, man?" I said, nothing. It's something stupid, man. I always do that, man. My mind, just this random crap just comes in my mind. I just laugh. Just random stupid stuff comes in my mind. I just laugh. And he was like, that's a pretty good ability to have, man, because a lot of people have worry, doubt, stress, and all that stuff. But me, naturally, just random crap. I was gonna say the sausages. Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausage? Just random crap like that, bro. Just random crap like that. My bum is on the rail. Bum is on the rail. Just random crap, man. That's how my mind thinks, man. Just like I did that video the other day with Lloyd. just stuff like that, man. But I realize, man, you got to control that, man, with your thoughts. You got to control your thoughts, man. You got to control what you consume, man. Television, media, what we consume, what we eat, all that, man. It's so many layers to this stuff, man. It's kind of incredible if you think about it, man. But again, man, I don't know, man. I'm so disconnected from this stuff. It all makes sense to me, man. It really does. But I don't know, man. I'm just rambling.
That's not tiredness. That's identity erosion. So ask yourself, why are you exhausted, even on the days when you did everything right? Why does your soul feel heavier, even when your schedule is light? Because you've been misdiagnosed. You don't have a time management problem. You have a meaning management problem. The truth is, you're not burning energy on passion, creation, or connection. You're burning it to hold up the mask. The one that smiles in meetings, that posts the right things, that says, I'm fine when you're anything but.
Man, again, this is the loaf of bread program. Again, we're all under. I'm not trying to, I'm excluded from this crap. I mean, again, what lies are we telling ourselves? And again, you see how it affects you. People don't want to ask the tough questions. They don't want to dig deep. Like I said, I'm too extreme. No, the hell I'm not. I always known who I am. Always, man. 11 years old. Those you've been following me. What I say. Ryu from Street Fighter. That's my philosophy, the Stoic philosophy. I adapted that. I'm looping it because I adapted that philosophy being completely ignorant to what Stoicism was. I didn't know it until I started posting these videos. Y'all told me about that. I didn't know anything about Stoicism. Literally adopted the whole philosophy just on my own. It's just logical because you can't control. All you can control is how you respond to things. You can't control life. I like that quote, things can go from sugar to shit just like that with life. Life, nobody can control life. What happens if life happens? How you gonna respond, man? You can control your emotions, man. I think I've always had that ability, just being ignorant of it, man. No stress, no be on me worrying and stuff, man. Like the universe got me, man. That's just what I believe, man. That I'm certain of.
You're not tired because you're weak. You're tired because you're constantly resisting yourself. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But what happens when every structure around you rewards conformity over truth? What happens when authenticity is punished and performance is praised? You become split, torn between the person you've been told to be and the person screaming beneath the surface.
And this is really bad when you add a woman on top of it. When you think you're nothing without a woman, then you get that woman, and then you doubling down. This is even worse. Again, the tiredness that sleep can't cure. 45. Not like the average 45-year-old guy. But again, you add that on top of a woman, then a family, and just you see why a lot of dudes are going through hell, just mentally, spiritually drained, bro. And that's what it's designed for. That Rothschild, Rockefeller programming. And when you bend the knee, it costs on so many layers, man.
And that scream, it echoes in your fatigue. It leaks into your mornings. It turns your alarm clock into a trigger. You're not just waking up to a new day. You're waking up to a role you didn't choose, a pace you didn't set, and expectations that were never yours to carry. And the body keeps the score. You feel it in your back, in your breath, in your inability to feel present even when you're still. Because deep down, you were not designed to live like this.
And you know it, man. Again, I'm just blessed because, like I said, I've always been, mentally. All he's mentioning right here, man. I've always had my own thoughts, my own thing. Like I said, again, I do my little gigs, but even at the jobs I be at, man, they know, like, fuck you, I walk out this bitch, man. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I always had that mentality. Like, I'm here, but I'm not. You know what I mean? So this is kind of crazy when you think about it. That's why I said there's a lot of layers to this stuff, man. But it's still what lies are men telling themselves? You lying to that man in the mirror. It all starts there, and this is a ripple effect. You see how the ripple effect. Because I was talking about that video the other day. The blood money, what we attracting what we have in our lives whenever we're living like this, when we're living this facade. Everything we have when we're living this facade, that's what it attracts. Think of what you can attract if I'm preaching to myself here too. Stuff's real, man.
Nietzsche saw it clearly over a century ago. He warned that the most dangerous form of suffering isn't physical. It's spiritual stagnation. It's living in a system that rewards compliance and punishes courage. A world where morality is twisted to glorify exhaustion as virtue, where rest is labeled as laziness.
I like that. What do you say right there?
Where is courage? A world where morality is twisted to glorify exhaustion as virtue.
You got people like that too, working 12, 16 hours, keep the head down. I don't take breaks. I work like this. I'll keep the company going. I'm proud to do that. I'm proud to keep my head down and being a little worker and get rewarded next life. And meanwhile, the companies are the CEOs are attending Diddy parties and shitting on women's heads and stuff, man. Going on yachts and all that crap. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is how I think. I know the majority don't think like this, but I always have, man. That's why I got a family. I'm good. But yeah, this stuff all makes sense, man.
Where rest is labeled as laziness. Where slowing down feels like failure. And so we become addicted to motion because stillness would force us to feel the emptiness we've been avoiding.
Right there. A man's problem comes from his inability to sit quiet in the room with his own thoughts. Stillness. I love stillness, man. Man, But yeah, the stagnation, the comfort, and all that, man, it drains the soul, bro. And the fact that this, like, the universe is really pointing that to me and showing me this, man, this is like, yeah, yeah. Lies we all tell ourselves, man. And then, like I said, just think about the guys be doubling down and getting women and having babies and stuff with this energy. You're passing it on to your goddamn kids and not even realizing it. If you care about your kids, it's very important that you master your spiritual side. What do I know? I'm just a dude, man. I thought y'all gave a shit about your kids. What are you passing on to your children, man? Marrying some harlot that don't like you, stressed out at some job that's draining your soul, and then you having kids on top of this, and it's a wonder why Babylon got most of y'all's daughters on OnlyFans and shit. This stuff is real. Free your mind, Neo. Free your mind.
This is not just about sleep. This is about being awake in a world that tells you to stay numb. This is about a society that industrialized your energy, monetized your attention, and pathologized your burnout. And yet, it dares to call it progress. But what if your exhaustion isn't a malfunction? What if it's a message? What if being tired, truly, relentlessly tired, isn't something to medicate, but something to investigate? What if it's not your body that's collapsing, but your soul rejecting the script?
Right there. That's what I'm going. That's what's really been like the last few years been with me. Because like I said, these little jobs I'm at, they're easy. I mean, it's cool, a little, but like my soul is like been nudging at me lately, man. That's why I've been talking like this. Like I've been realizing. That's why I said I was just looking around, looking at my coworkers and stuff. I'm looking at the guys, looking at their lifestyles, and that's why I've been talking like this. I think that's why all this attract. I'm looking at these dudes. These dudes are married in Cowtown, and like I said, I'm working my whole 16 hours. I don't take breaks and all that. Man, kiss my ass, man. Y'all are dumb. Getting married, settled. They ain't locked in, bro. I'm up here, the only one free, single, no kids, all married, divorced, married. That matters, bro. Like I said, I started realizing like this shit is draining me, man. Being around these motherfuckers is draining me, bro. Doing that for all these years and stuff, man. Yeah, it makes sense. And like I said, now we at a point right now. I don't know. My spirit is to tell me, bro, we need to evolve, man. That's what we on right now, man. That's why my message is gonna be more harsh and stuff, man. And myself included. I've been slacking off. I told y'all, man, I've been slacking off bullshit. But I've always been cognizant of it. I've always been aware of it. That's why I leave women alone. I can be honest with myself. Most people can't. Most people can't. 76% of people are going through this. This is not an accident, man. This goddamn television, this program, the programming is real, y'all.
You were not born to be optimized. You were not built to exist as a machine of productivity. And if your body is whispering, I can't keep doing this, it's not because you're broken. It's because you're still human. So the next time you wake up exhausted despite the full night of sleep, don't reach for caffeine. Don't open your to-do list. Ask yourself this instead. Who am I performing for? Because until you answer that question, no amount of rest will ever feel like enough.
He just gave you the cheat code, man. Again, lies men tell themselves, man. Who am I performing for? And we already know at that 76%, the majority of them are probably married men. What's the common denominator? I'm nothing without a woman. Lying to yourself. A woman completes me. Lying to yourself. I need a woman to bring me peace. Lying to yourself. Do I hate women? No, I understand women. I just don't have the need for them like y'all be doing. I don't need to be kissing on them and fucking on them and shit. I could care less about all that. Never really did. I understand that's the anomaly. Hey man, I'm not. Yeah, you do what y'all want to do. Think for yourself. That's one thing I always say on this channel: is think for yourself. Don't project y'all's lust and loneliness onto me, though. I get sick of that crap, man. Don't happen as much as it used to, but it's happened so much now, and I'm just over it, man. But man, hey, I'm just putting it out there, y'all. That's what my spirit's on, man. This stuff matters. It drains you, and like I said, that's why I be getting on dudes' asses. Y'all are trying to chase after a woman, and you don't even know the hell you are. You don't even know the hell you are. You listen to these gumps saying that you less than. You don't get that woman, you're going to double down on damnation. Double down on damnation. Not only you got to find yourself, but you got to dig. You got kids, man, come on, bro. If you're free, You ain't got no kids, bro. I'm telling you, how you want to play it, man? Rejection from the Jezebels, protection of the Most High. I'm nothing without a woman. Done. Done. Already done. I'm so lonely. Done. Done.
Carl Jung didn't just talk about fatigue, he diagnosed it. He looked at the modern soul and saw not just tiredness, but a deep fracture, a spiritual disintegration, and
I'm on some Jung level, y'all. What I told y'all, a tiredness no amount of sleep can cure. I get around being my age, generally speaking, man, yeah, just drained. Doing it in the spirit of ignorance will aid you significantly. A tiredness no amount of sleep can cure. Dealing with this in the spirit of ignorance and you doubling down, getting a woman on top of that, that's exactly what this world wants you to do. Because it's hard to get out of that. Especially when you're paying child support and all this stuff, man. It's wild out here, bro.
he said it plainly. You are not truly living, you are merely managing the illusion of yourself. That illusion is exhausting. It takes everything from you to keep it running. You see, most people wake up every day wearing a costume they forgot wasn't skin. They've played the role so long, good worker, perfect partner, obedient citizen, that they've lost all sense of where the act ends and the self begins. Jung identified 3 levels of disconnection that fuel this silent collapse. First, you don't know who you are when you're not pleasing someone else. You've become
I don't know, man, if it's a blessing or curse, but I have always been self-centered. Always. I have always put myself first. Always, always, always. Even in the spirit of ignorance, I always put myself first, man. Watching dudes in the 90s be hollow monsters, trying to be little court jesters, like he mentioned, good little puppets, trying to be. I'm like, man, that shit's beneath me. Even when I was young, I said, that stuff's beneath me. I ain't doing that.
a mirror, always reflecting action that fuel this silent collapse. First, you don't know who you are when you're not pleasing someone else.
That don't even compute to me, bro. But men are raised to be like that, man. Mr. Protector and provider. I'll lay down my coat on the puddle. I'll lay down my life. I'll be Mr. Worker Mule. And are told that you will get unconditional love if you do that. How's that working out for the majority of men? That's a lie. That's a lie. And where did God tell you to do that? Where did God tell you to set for abroad and do all this? And where did that come from?
You've become a mirror, always reflecting back what others want to see. Approval has become oxygen. Without it, you suffocate. Second, you think freedom is the ability to choose your job or your path. But Jung warned, many of us don't actually choose. We're programmed to desire what society needs from us. You believe you're choosing to climb the corporate ladder, to build a brand, to follow your passion. But often, you're just walking a path laid out by the machine, thinking it's your own idea.
Doubling down. Just like Lot in Sodom and Gomorrah. To advance in Sodom and Gomorrah, he had to download the Sodom and Gomorrah custom. Same thing. To move up in these jobs, you got to double down on the illusion. You got to double down in Babylon. Typically, to move up, what do you have to do? You got to be married. You got to be married with a family to move up in these jobs. What does that tell you right there? What does that tell you right there? Here's another one for you. COVID. Remember? People forgot about that. Y'all banging women that got the jabs on top of that. But anyways, I saw so many people bending the knee because they didn't want to lose the little cushy jobs that they went to school for. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to lose my... Just prove my point even more so. You have no control. No control. You bent the knee to the system. Had to keep your job. Had to keep your comfort. Had to keep your house. Big Daddy government said, get this jab, put this shit in your system, and you had to do it. Yes, sir, Big Daddy. What kind of control do you really have, man? I tell you, man, you single no kids, man, you are really... I can't make y'all see it. If you don't see it, I really don't really know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, man.
And third, you call it I chose this. But Jung would say, no, that's the collective unconscious choosing through you. You are serving a myth, a narrative inherited from culture, tradition, advertising, and fear. And you serve it well, silently, tirelessly, until the weight of all that unspoken servitude shows up in your body as chronic fatigue. That's why you feel so drained. Not because you're playing a role, but because you've forgotten there's even a self behind the performance.
And again, disease, sickness, all that, man. Knock on wood, 45, man. I may get like a runny nose every once in a blue moon. I don't think man, knock on wood, man. I don't get sick. I don't got no medicine in my medicine account. I don't do none of that crap, man. And that's not an accident. That is not an accident. 45. I look like the average 45-year-old. Why? Because I don't have a Jezebel draining me. And I'm about as free as I can mentally. I still always did my own thing. I live for myself. Again, staying single. I'm staying true to myself. Society says I'm nothing. Dudes project their lust from women onto me, but me, I've always been fine man by myself. I've always been content. The only time I had issues when I was getting gaslit and listening to normies, thinking there's something wrong with me. I've always been true to myself, for the most part. Yeah, even when I'm being lazy and just smoking weed and just going by, status quo. I've always been honest with myself. That's why I never complained, never bitched about having women. I don't get why dudes, and I'm rambling right now, I don't get why you dudes would want a woman to sit up there and do this 50-50 shit with you. Why would you want a woman? Why won't you a man, you ain't got nothing, but you want a woman to come in here and y'all want to just work together and try to, that's dumb. That is dumb. Get your shit together first. I don't understand this 50-50 philosophy. Dudes, I got to agree with Coach on that. Dudes be arguing this, man. Like, why would you want a 50-50 relationship? That's dumb. I just want to do that little side note on that, man.
Body as chronic fatigue. That's why you feel so drained. Not because you're playing a role, but because you've forgotten there's even a self behind the performance. You're exhausted not from being fake, but from not knowing what's real anymore. This isn't just stress. This is soul fragmentation, a slow, quiet tearing of identity. When your spirit is replaced with function, when your value is measured in output, and when your inner life becomes a liability to your outer role. What you're left with is a hollow shell, capable, productive, and utterly depleted. Jung called this the tragedy of the modern man. He loses his shadow, and with it, his soul. Because in a world obsessed with appearing good, valuable, efficient, we've buried all the parts of ourselves that don't fit the script.
And you see why a lot of men do not want to sit back and ask themselves the tough questions. Unfortunately, a lot of dudes, again, married, kids, you can't. I mean, you're stuck. But people do not want to ask themselves the tough questions. Is it a wonder why society is the way it is? What did Napoleon Hill say? How many people were in Satan's playbook? Like 90%, 95%? It makes sense. It makes sense, man.
And it's in that burial that the true fatigue begins. So if you wake up tired even after a full night of sleep, look deeper. Ask not what you need to do. Ask who you're being and whether that person is even real. Because no amount of rest can heal the exhaustion of living as someone you're not. Now enter Nietzsche, the philosopher who made it his mission to expose the games beneath our so-called morals. He didn't say morality was good. He didn't say it was bad either. He said morality is a weapon. And in a world structured around control, that weapon is used not to uplift the strong, but to domesticate them. Nietzsche warned us. Morality is the tool the weak use to make the strong limit themselves. Think about that. From the moment you...
That's interesting. That is interesting. Because the ones behind the surface, the ones behind the scenes, they are not moral at all. They have no morality.
Can walk and speak your top selves. Think about that. From the moment you can walk and speak, you're taught that sacrifice is noble, that self-denial is maturity, That pushing through your exhaustion without complaint is what makes you a good person.
A good man. A good man. That's more so on the man side. Take it and just take it in stride. Just take it the world on your shoulders. You ain't supposed to complain. You ain't supposed to say anything. That's why all this social media and stuff, men sharing their horror stories. They don't want dudes waking up out here. They don't want men stepping into their God-given sovereignty. That's all this world is designed to is to get us to drain our energy. I'm realizing that now. And that's why I say the morality part. If I get involved, 3 wives. I've been saying this since day one. I know who and what I am. 3. I've been saying that. Those who've been following me, what I've been saying. Dracula's 3 brides. I've always been saying that. 3. You did it. You did it. Get off my goddamn channel. These women ain't no virgins anyway. Get out of here. What are we doing? What are we doing out here? Got men out here. You go out here. You bust your ass. You become something. Oh no, you can't have multiple women. Oh no, you can't do that. You can't have rotate. You can't. Leonardo DiCaprio can't bang 25-year-old. You can't. Nope. Why not? Why not? This stuff's real, man.
But good for who? Let's look at the silent commandments society whispers. If you're tired, it means you care. If you collapse, it means you're dedicated. If you question, it means you're selfish. Sound familiar? That's not virtue, that's programming.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, if you question, you're selfish. Asking these questions, I'm selfish. Talking the way I'm talking, I hate women and all this, and which is not true, by the way. I don't like robots, and unfortunately a lot of them are, but it is what it is. A lot of men are too. Again, you're a man that thinks you're nothing without a woman. Congratulations, you're a program. You're a program, bro. Hey, man, what do you want from me? You think you ain't shit without a woman? You're a program. Have fun. You're going to get spanked, and you're going to be making MGTOW videos. Then talking about you got some knowledge. Because you did not. Man, come on, y'all. Why does it take that? Why does it take that? Why does it take that, y'all? You can do all this without having to take those pitfalls and shit, man. I don't get it. I don't get it.
And who programmed you? The same institutions that benefit when you comply. The same systems that profit when you stay quiet.
Rothschilds, Rockefellers, school systems, all this. This stuff is deep. And again, we're all born into it. Like I said, I'm 45. I'm literally 45 getting to this point, like realizing, like, again, y'all blessed out these videos and stuff, man. Younger men, Gen Z and stuff, man. The information's out here. Got older guys sharing their stories and stuff.
That reward you just enough to keep you from leaving, but never enough to actually thrive. You've been taught that burnout is bravery, that self-erasure is loyalty, that exhaustion is proof you're doing it right. And so, without realizing it, you begin to worship depletion. You call it discipline, you call it responsibility, but it's really obedience, masked as pride. Nietzsche.
Obedience masked as pride. I'm a good worker. That's why I said I got into do it about the job, man. Yeah, they can. I can't do it. I've been doing this since I was 17. I don't take breaks. I don't take lunches. I work through mine. Man, get the fuck out of here. You're an idiot. Proud to be just proud to be just a double down and just nope. I get this now, man. I know what I gotta do. The universe. The universe it takes you right back through it again, bro. It's funny. It's funny, man. Yep. Lesson learned. My God. Oh my goodness, y'all. And yeah. This is what you attract whenever you are denying yourself, when you're lying to yourself. Obedience masked as pride. That is funny.
Didn't tell you to rest. He told you to stop glorifying your exhaustion as a badge of honor. He didn't say weakness was bad. He said the system rebranded it as virtue, so you'd wear your chains proudly. Look around. Who benefits when you keep pushing past your limits? Who gains when you keep saying yes to things that drain you? Who wins when you silence that voice inside that whispers, "This isn't me anymore"? The truth is, your tiredness isn't a glitch in the matrix. It is the matrix. It's a consequence by design. Because tired people don't rebel. Tired people don't reflect. Tired people don't ask dangerous questions like, what if my exhaustion isn't a flaw but a protest? That's what Nietzsche wanted you to see. That exhaustion is not a sign of failure. It's the expected result of a society that keeps you numb, compliant, and half alive.
Yeah, that's pretty much kind of repeating a lot of what he's saying. But yeah, I agree with this, man. Yeah. A tiredness, no amount of sleep can cure, man. Free your mind, Neo. This stuff it matters. And again, like I said, bringing kids into this stuff, not knowing who you are, thinking you're nothing without a woman. Then, like I said, the programming strong on your kids. Sins of the father, sins of the mother. If you care about your kids, free your mind. But hey, what do I know? I'm just broke and dusty, right? Hey man, the milk's been spilled, the die's been cast. All you can do is move accordingly. I'm out, good peoples. Laters.